Hello there, you beautiful, ravishing person you, and welcome to another episode of Spurt Weekly, the only weekly tech news show that's powered by 80% whiskey and about 20% whatever that stuff in the plastic bottle that I found shoved under the sink was. And it's been another absolute doozy of a week with bugger tons of shiny new tech launching, from your super affordable, budget-friendly blowers all the way up to your bendy beauties that will empty your wallet faster than an ill-advised trip to a Vegas strip joint. So let's crack right on. I've got a tingle, let's have that jingle. Spurt Weekly. So where do we even start this week? I mean, we might as well start with our great mates Motorola, who, hey, guess what, launched a new smartphone this week. So the Motorola Razr 5G is a 2020 sequel to last year's smartphone reboot of the original Razr, kind of confusing but stay with me here, sporting the same clever bendy display but improving on quite a lot of the bits that were less than fantastic. So now you've got upgraded performance courtesy of the Snapdragon 765G chipset, you've got a bigger battery, so hopefully the new Motorola Razr will last you all day, and you've got better camera tech stuffed in there too. But will the new Motorola Razr be all that and a bag of pork scratchings? Well, I've done your video detailing all of the specs and the updates versus the original reboot from last year, so go check that out for all you need to know. This week, Huawei also got busy at its massive developer conference, where we got our first glimpse of the updated MIUI launcher. Emotion UI 11 has been spruced up in a number of areas, with tighter privacy controls, rejiggered multitasking, and some fresh always-on displays that are slicker than an otter's balls. But of course they didn't leave it at that. Huawei also launched a whole bunch of new hardware, including new MateBooks, new watches, and these wee devils here as well, the FreeBuds Pro. And they're a massive improvement on the original FreeBuds 3 true wireless earbuds, boasting some really strong active noise cancellation. Definitely go check out my full review, which is live right now. And Xiaomi has also been at it this week, launching its latest smartphone for skintfolk called the Poco X3 open brackets NFC close brackets, just in case you were really wondering if it had NFC. Now this is the first phone to come packing Qualcomm's fresh new Snapdragon 732G platform, which should serve up great gaming performance on a tight budget, while the 5160 mAh battery should keep you going longer than that little pink bastard, the Duracell Bunny. You've also got a 120Hz screen, a 64 megapixel main camera using Sony's IMX682 sensor, and all kinds of crazy specs for just 199 quid. Someone over at Xiaomi is definitely dropping some serious crazy pills. But anyway, I have the Poco X3 NFC, I've done my full unboxing, that'll be going live in the next sort of 24 hours, and stay tuned next week for a full in-depth review. And now it's time for the part of the show that's about as wholesome and nutritious as a hepatitis sandwich. It's viewer comments. Woo woo. Viewer comments. So leading the charge this week is Amir, who says, bots aside, do you love us though? My friend, I have nothing but the deepest love and adoration for anyone who's willing to sit down and take the time to watch me talking complete and utter bollocks every single week. Seriously, you are all like my children, except you don't wake me up at ungodly hours and steal cash out of my wallet, so actually you're even better than my children. Following last week's bot-based shenanigans, Ivan reckons that Putin is brewing me a nice cup of tea, nice in inverted commas. Sounds lovely, but unfortunately I'm not really a tea fan, so he'll probably end up having to inject his nerve agents into my lunchtime pasty or something like that. Well, to be fair, my diet, like most northerners, consists of far too much fried and fatty goodness, so you know what, Mr. Putin, just save yourself the hassle, don't even bother, just let nature run its course. And let's face it, that nerve agent stuff, it probably isn't cheap anyway. Pepperbutt says, every time I watch Spurt Weekly, I feel like I'm being sexually harassed by a British Vin Diesel. Well, that's definitely, obviously, the vibe I was going for. When each episode is over, you should be pretty sure you didn't actually enjoy any of it, and about 90 to 95% certain that you should probably call the cops. Next up, Picast, sorry if I've completely mauled that pronunciation, says, when will the Realme 7 Pro be released in the UK? Well, I've been on to Realme about this because obviously it launched like a good week or two ago now. They reckon UK probably won't hit Blighty until about sort of October time, unfortunately, so still a wee bit of a wait on our hands. Although, to be fair, I'm not massively gutted about that because, you know, obviously Motorola, Xiaomi, they're all launching their own budget-friendly smartphones. They're starting to stack up a little bit here at Spurt Towers. No sleep for Uncle Spurt, as usual. Next up, Lupin Chubansky says, the pancakey things from India that you had were most likely chapatis. Yeah, chapatis, I completely forgot about the chapatis as well. They were very delicious, those little curry dippy things, very tasty. I actually went and looked it up though, those weren't the pancakey things. Typical cockbrain moment, just couldn't remember what they were, how they were called. I was actually thinking of dosas, which are really nice sort of slightly crispy pancakey things you got down in the south of India quite a lot. Had them with Christ even knows what stuffed inside. It was all delicious though, that's the main thing. Absolutely got my mouth gushing with all the thought of all this food, man. I'm going to start dribbling down myself and it's all your fault. And in fact, our friend Lupin continues, he also says, on recommendations for the northeastern food, prepare for some seriously hot stuff. I gotta admit, I do like it spicy, but my days of eating like folds and stuff like that are well behind me. My guts are definitely not a fan anymore. It'll be like a volcanic eruption if I try any of that stuff. They'll be feeling the tremors all the way over at Wolverhampton. And now, of course, it's time for no one's favourite regular segment, which crap celebrity do I look like this week? Which crap celebrity do I look like this week? And there's only actually a couple this week. You guys are slipping. So Matt kicks us off with Andre Agassi lookalike. Although let me tell you what, this lad has let himself go since he stopped playing the tennis. Although of course you would, wouldn't you? You spend that length of time dedicating yourself to being super lean, super fit and healthy and everything. You're not going to keep on eating your tuna and niçoise salads once you retire, are you? No, Steph, you can shove your hummus dip. Dozen Krispy Kremes, my face, stat. And meanwhile, David says, looking like Jason Statham's anorexic younger brother. I mean, at least you said younger. Could have been worse, I'll take that, whatever. Next up, Barbara says, I tend to think of you as a guilty pleasure. Having originally emigrated from County Durham to the Garden of England and being a lifelong techie, your dulcet tones add a touch of nostalgia to the delivery. Thank you very much for watching. I'm definitely happy to be anyone's guilty pleasure. Certainly pleasure is not a word I thought would be associated with my good self, so yeah, that'll work. Next up, serious question here. JenRox25 says, I'm looking for a good phone under $400 US, would like 90 Hz and Snapdragon. I'm torn between the Realme 6 Pro, the Realme X2 Pro or the Redmi Note 9. Well, both of the Realme phones, they definitely have 90 Hz screens. They've got the Snapdragon Smarts, and they, they'll do absolutely everything you need. The X2 is obviously more premium with the Snapdragon 855 Plus, and you got the Super AMOLED screen and everything. But you know what? The Realme 6 Pro will do absolutely everything you need it to. You can still do gaming, as long as you're not bothered about losing the AMOLED screen or anything. Save yourself a bit of cash and just get that, I reckon. And don't forget, you've also got the Realme X50 5G as well for around the sort of £300 mark, which just throws 5G into the mix if you want a bit of future proofing. Again, a gorgeous friggin' 120 Hz display. Too many good budget phones. It really is a struggle to keep up. Next up, Simon says, your eyebrows are fantastic. Oh, thank you. I'm starting to get a little bit worried actually, because I hadn't had any eyebrow comments in a while. I was worried they'd started to lose their luster somewhat. Next up, The Devil says, that RTX 3090 is what I'm saving for. I'll be getting it next year. Can't wait. I mean, yeah, 1,400 quid, that thing ain't cheap, but my God, the power. The only thing I'm worried about is the state of our national grid once people start plugging the RTXs into their bloody computers, because I'm envisaging a proper full-on Escape from New York style situation, just like electricity just goes boom across the entire globe. Once again, time is a ticking away, so better make this the last one. Blue Malicious says, I feel like you've really been let off the hook since the Xperia 1 Mark II came out, not being constantly harassed for updates. So any news on when the Xperia 5 II is coming out? And in fact, yes I do. It's next Thursday. The 17th is apparently when Sony's going to be pulling back the curtain on the Xperia 5 Mark II. I've heard bugger all from Sony personally, but we'll see what happens. I'm expecting it'll probably be a soft launch where they'll sort of reveal it, kind of similar to the Xperia 1 Mark II, and then it won't actually probably go on sale for another couple of months or something, depending on obviously how the old production lines are going. But I really like the Xperia 1 Mark II, so I've got high hopes for the 5 definitely, and obviously as soon as I get my mitts on one, full coverage will be coming. So that's the biggest launch that I've got penciled in for next week, but guaranteed there will be other stuff going on as well. I'll be bringing you, of course, my full review of the Poco X3 open brackets NFC close brackets as well. See if that NFC is so good it's worth shoving in the title. As ever, thank you to everyone who commented last week. Apologies if I didn't get to your comment, and please do smash your thoughts down below. Get through as many of those as possible. Same time next week. So have yourselves a lovely weekend, people, and I feel like I should leave you on some sort of deep thought or some, really epic conclusion, but I kind of need to piss quite bad now, so I'm going to go do that instead. Love you lots. Bye.